Hello everyone, I am Dr. Vikas Khare. This is a lecture 12 of data analysis. Today we will discuss the basic concept of time series forecasting. Then, what is the concept of forecasting? How we interpret the forecasting related to the data analysis and what are the significance of forecasting. So first, what is forecasting? So the forecasting predict some values or we identify future value with respect to the present value. So this is the basic of forecasting in the terms of predict some value and future value identify with respect to the present value. So in another case, the forecasting is also a technique of predicting the future, or there are different type of possibility of forecasting we identify in the terms of time series data, in the terms of trigonometric function, in the terms of logarithmic function. So there are a number of applications also of forecasting in the terms of production rate, selling rate, prediction of temperature, prediction of solar radiation, prediction of consumer demand. So just as again we define forecasting predict some value, future value with respect to the present value and technique of predicting some future values. So the one of the prominent concept of forecasting is time series data. Then what is the meaning of time series data? The data gathered on a given characteristics over a period of time at regular interval. So for the example, if we have a value of temperature of any particular city at the month of January. So we have the value of temperature in the month of January from 1st of January to 20th of January. So based on the data of temperature from 1st January to 20th January, we also identify or predict the value of temperature from 21st January to 31st January. So in that case, the 1st January to 20th January data is called as a present value. And the data which we will find out from 21st January to 31st January is called as predict value or forecasting. In such type of problem, what is the meaning of time series? So the time series is number of days. Here we identify the temperature as a day wise. If we want to identify the average monthly temperature of a particular city in the terms of January, February, March, and April, and so on as a May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. So in that case, the time series data is related to the month-wise calculation. So the time series data in the organization may be day-wise, year-wise, month wise, or maybe with respect to the time, with respect to the number of occurrence, and with respect to the frequency. So in another way, the forecasting as a predict some values, then we identify the future value with respect to the present value, or technique of predicting the future with respect to the present value. So there are number of possibility of time series forecasting. So there are three types of time series forecasting. The first one is related to trend. The second one is related to cycle, or the third one is related to seasonal effect. So just in the case of trend, then what is the meaning of trend? So the long term general direction of data, direction of data is called the trend. So we identify data in a year wise. We gather the data of 100 years of any organization, or we identify the production rate of any organization of last 100 years. So this is just like a long-term data or long-term general direction of data. After that, the next type of time series forecasting is considered as a cycle. Pattern of high and low through which data more over time period, usually more than a year. So just cycle is something is different from the trend. So just for the example, if we gather the data of 100 years, so it is just like a trend. If we want to gather the data of 5 or 10 years, then this is considered as a cycle of that data. After that, the next one is seasonal data. Less than 1 year is called as a seasonal data. So in that case, if we compare all the three processes, so trend is for as a long time, cycle is for as a medium time period, and seasonal is considered as a small time period. So in the three cases, we identify or forecast the data through the trend, cycle, and seasonal effect. So when we identify or predict future value, so in that case, number of errors are occur. This is called as a measurement of forecasting error. So in the case of forecasting error, it is classified into number of types. So first one as a mean error, then mean absolute error, mean square error, mean percentage error, mean absolute percentage error, so these are the some types when we measure the forecasting error in the terms of mean error, mean absolute error, mean square error, and mean percentage error, and last one as a mean absolute percentage error. So then what is the meaning of error? The difference between actual value minus forecast value. So if data is 98% reliable, so that's meaning in that data chances of error is equal to 2%. So in the field of forecasting, it is very necessary to identify measurement of forecasting error. So in this lecture, we identify the basics of time series forecasting, where we identify what is the meaning of forecasting. We identify predict value, or we identify future value. We also assess the time series data is considered in a three-way, one of that as a trend, next one as a cycle, and the next one is seasonal effect. So trend for the long time duration, cycle is for the medium time duration, seasonal effect is minimum time duration. So in the next lecture, we will discuss the measurement of forecasting error with the help of an example. So thanks for